Hi Crochet Rock Stars, it's Lynn with Curiosity Crochet. Hope you're all well. Today we're going to put together this hat. The brim's a little bit unique. I tried something new. Everyone on Facebook seemed to like it, so we're going to give it a go. And then we've got a mini arrow stitch on top, so it kind of goes together good. I like the way the hat turned out. Like always, I'm going to do it on a small scale so I can get it done for you, but I'll show you everything just like I always do. For this one I used Premier Everyday. This was rose, I think, and then this one's like a camel color. Both 4-weight yarn. Like always, you can use any weight yarn you'd like to use. Just I would suggest taking a look at the recommended size hook. Always do the brim in like a size or size and a half smaller, and then do this one with the bigger hook, the top part I mean. And I just want to show you, it's a different kind of brim, but there's quite a bit of stretch. I mean, it fits good. I would suggest doing this probably a size and a half smaller than the top part, just so that it holds its shape real good. But it fits nice, and it lays real nice, so I wouldn't worry about it. It looks wide, but it doesn't fit wide at all. Today I'm just going to use up some of my cheap yarn that I've got. It's another worsted weight 4-weight yarn. This one recommends 5.5, but like always, I'm going to use the 4.5 and a 5 on top. Now I might go with the 5.5 because, like I said, you want to keep the brim a little tighter than the top part of the hat. And with this particular pattern, the bottom is a little wider than normal brims, so I'll probably use a 4.5 and 5.5, skip over the 5. But I'm just using blue and gray. This one's not real complicated. I mean, it looks real nice, but it's not complicated. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. So let's get our hooks. Let's get our supplies. Don't forget your yarn needle and your scissors, and I'll meet you right back. Okay. Just to put it out there, for this particular pattern, I did come up with the brim part, but the stitch for the top part, I learned the stitch on YouTube, just like you guys were watching me. It's just a stitch. It wasn't a pattern or anything. It was just a stitch. I learned it from Nati Crochet. If you're ever interested in learning patterns or stitches, she's really good at it. She makes me laugh, but I'll try and link it in my description box. I still have to try and figure out all this YouTube stuff, so bear with me. But she does really good tutorials on stitches. She just does stitches, and I take a lot of those stitches and I turn it into something, you know, mostly hats, because I love making hats. So anyways, we're gonna start with the brim, and I'm doing the lighter color. Now you can do it however you want with the colors. I'm just doing this because I'm doing it on a small scale for you guys, so it doesn't really matter. The good thing about this pattern is both the stitch for the bottom and the top are multiples of 3. So just make sure you have multiples of 3 and we'll be gravy. So I'm going to do this small, so I'm going to do my 30 chains, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've got whatever chains that we need, remember okay, so what I do, just to explain this a little bit better, to get the diameter, is I make the chains in whatever multiples I need, I lay it out, and then I take my tape measure and measure the length of it to be 21 or 22 inches long, or whatever you need it to be. So once you get your multiples of 3 in that length that you need, then we'll go on to the next step. So what the next step is we're going to follow this down all the way to the end without twisting our chain. And we are going to slip stitch into that first chain. Well, if I could get it to work. So we are going to slip stitch that right there. And then we are going to chain 3, which if you've watched my other videos, it really never ever counts as anything. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to double crochet right back into that same chain space. And then we are just going to follow it around and put 1 double crochet in each chain around. This is going to be our base for starting the other part. And you can see it on the hat. I'll show you. You can see that base row here. And then we jump into the pattern. And we only have to do this a couple times because it goes so quick. And then to start the top part, we do another row of double crochet. So it kind of borders each other. Turns out real nice. I like it a lot. I really like this hat. And it does. It works up fairly quick because it's a fun one. So, and having that we only have to do the repeats of this bottom part a couple times, it goes by in a flash. So go ahead and do your double crochets all the way around. And I'll meet back up with you and I'll show you where we're going from there.
Did you kill me?
Okay, now that we came back around, and I just want to show you guys something. So a lot of times when you're going around like this, it wants to pop up this way so that you're kind of working on the inside. So just make sure you flip it and make sure you're working from the outside. So once we get our double crochets done all the way around, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet, chain 3, just our builder, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put 3 double crochets right here in that stitch we slip stitched in. So we're going to go in here 1, we're going to go in here 2, we're going to go in here 3. Now we are going to skip 2 and we're going to put 3 in the third one. 2, 3. Okay. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in that third one we're going to put 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, in that third one you're going to put 3 double crochets. Okay, and then that's what we start getting. So just repeat that around until you get back to the beginning, and I'll meet you back. Okay, once we come back around, you're going to have 2 left to skip. Don't worry about this. This is where you slip stitch. You're going to have 2 left to skip. And remember, we started with 3, so you want that skippable one here. So we're going to slip stitch in the top of that first double crochet of that 3. And then now you'll have the start of this. Now that's the first row of the repeat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. And we're going to front post double crochet around the first and the third. And I'll show you. And then we're going to put a single crochet in the middle. And I'm going to show you. So you yarn over and you come in through the side here and come back up around that double crochet and you put the front post in. Now in the middle here, we're going to put a single crochet. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to go around this one again and finish our double crochet. And that's the first one. Now we're just going to jump right over to the next set of 3. We're going to yarn over, go in the side and come up, pull up a loop and finish that double crochet. for the front post. Then we're going to single crochet in that middle one. And then we're going to yarn over and go in the side and come back up and go around that post for the third one. So essentially you're putting a front post on the first and the third and a single crochet in the middle. So let's go over that one more time. Yarn over, go in from the side and come up around the post, grab your yarn and finish your double crochet. And then we're gonna single crochet in the middle, and then we're gonna do the same here. We're gonna front post, we're gonna go around it, pull up a loop and finish our double crochet. So when you start getting that cool little pop out. Okay, so that's what we're going to repeat for this row all the way around. And then I'll meet you back and show you how to do officially what this row will be. And then we're just going to repeat them a couple times. And, well, really we're just going to repeat it one more time after this. And then we're going to jump into the next part. So I'll be back. Okay, once you come back up around, you'll finish on that front post on that last one. And then we're just going to slip stitch into the top of that first front post. Chain 3. And then what we're going to do for this row. Now, we're just going to do this row and then this row again, the front post one more time. That's how quick this works up. Now, if you look at your band and it's not wide enough, or you want it to be skinny and you want it to just be like this, that's totally up to you. It is your hat, so I want you to be happy. But if you want to do one more round of these 2 rows, this is what you're going to do. Essentially, you're just going to go into that single crochet in the middle of all this and do your 3 double crochets again. So we're just repeating the 3 double crochets, but this time, instead of us, you know, being in the bottom, you know, where there's nothing happening and we were just doing it in double crochets, now we have somewhere to put it. So, I mean, you could make a hat out of this too. I think it would look adorable. I mean, a whole hat instead of it just being the brim. I just thought this was something cute and different for this. So after you do it there, you jump to the next single crochet and put 3 double crochets again. And then, because see, what you're doing is you're skipping 2. You're skipping these 2 front posts. So you're still skipping 2 stitches. But it's easier to look at it where I'm just going from one single crochet to the next and putting in my 3 double crochets. I think that's just a little, you know, shortcut. Instead of, okay, now I got to count 1, 2 and go to the next. No, I'm just jumping from one single to the next single to the next single. You guys see what I mean. So go ahead and repeat that. Just 3 double crochets in each single crochet, or skip 2 stitches and do it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to repeat this row here where we did the front post, the single, and the front post. Front post, single, front post. You're going to repeat that one more time after you finish this row. And then we'll jump into the next part. But don't change colors. I'll show you what we're going to do after. Okay, now that you've finished that, and however wide or skinny you want your brim, now we're going to keep it this color for right now, for one more row. And we are just going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch. So make sure you start right here where you slip stitched, or you're going to throw your stitch count off. And we need that multiple of 3. So just go ahead and put 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And then we'll change colors and we'll start on the top part. And I wasn't joking when I said this moves pretty quick. Like, you could get this hat done lickety split. I think I spent an hour making this hat, maybe an hour at the most. So No joke. It goes quick and it's fun. This part was fun. Top part is fun. So go ahead and make these double crochets, and then I'll meet you right back and we'll change colors. Okay, once we come back around, we're going to do the same thing and just slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. And now what we're going to do, I've showed this before, but I go in through the back here and I pull this, because we're going to change colors, so we're going to cut this one off. But I go in there and I grab the loop and I pull the loop to the inside so that whatever knot you make is on the inside. Plus it keeps it back here, and it makes it cleaner. See that? Like, it looks like it's non-existent then. But for this part, I do it in the same stitch so that I know where to go and start my next color. When I do it at the top of the hat, when we're closing it off, you go into the next stitch. And I'll show you that when we get up there. It's the same thing, and just instead you go into the very next stitch instead of in this one. So we're also going to change hooks here too. We're going to go to the bigger size, whatever one you're using. And we are going to grab our other color. And we are going to start the top part of this pattern. Now, this part is fun too. The only thing that might be a little difficult is you're crossing over and you're doing front post triples. But I'm going to show you how to do it, and I have faith that y'all can do it. I really do. So when I'm just working with the two colors like this, I just put another slip knot on, and I go in where I ended, and I slip stitch that color on. And there we go, we're ready to start. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chain 3 to begin with. We're gonna chain 3. And then we are going to skip this first one here. Let me get these out of the way. So we're gonna skip the first stitch, and then we're gonna put 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So we're gonna put 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Let me say it that way so I don't confuse you guys. So skip 1 and then put 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back around, not in the top, but around the post of the stitch we skipped. So for a triple crochet, you're going to yarn over twice instead of once. And you're going to come back over here. You're going to work backwards a little bit. And you're still, just like any other front post, you're going to go in through the side and come up so you're around it. You're going to pull up. You're going to pull through 2. You're going to pull through 2 more. And then finish it off with the last 2. And see, now you got a little bit of a cross action going. So that's what we're going to repeat. We're going to skip 1. And we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 2. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to go back to that post and do that treble. So you're going to yarn over twice. You're going to go in the side and come around it. Bring it up. Go through 2. Go through 2 more. And then go through the last 2. Okay, we'll go over that one more time and then I'll let you guys run with it. So we're going to skip 1. We're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 2. 1 and 2. And then we're going to yarn over twice. 1, 2, and we're going to come around this post down here. We're going to pull it up. We're going to go through 2. We're going to go through 2. We're going to go through 2. Okay, so basically this is a one row repeat. It's just that on the second part it's a little bit different, like when you do the next row. So it's technically 1 row repeat, but I'll show you when we get to the next what I mean. So go ahead and finish this up and I'll meet you back. Okay, when we come back up around, if you did it properly, you should be left with 3 stitches. And this is the chain 3 here. So we've got 3 stitches here. So we're going to skip that one and we're going to go and do our 2 double crochets. And then we're going to go back and we're going to treble crochet. Oop, not get caught on that. And finish that up. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top. We're going to slip stitch into the top of this double crochet here. Okay, so then we've made it all the way around. Now, this is where it changes up a little bit. We're going to chain 3. Okay? And we're going to turn our work. And we are going to skip this one here, which is where that treble is. And we're going to do the two double crochets in a row here. And then this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn it again because it's just easier to work like this. And we're still going to do the treble. So it's essentially the same thing. But instead of going around the post this time, we're going to go in to the stitch here. We're going to go in here. Let me get on the side. We're going to go in here and come out around that. So we're going to go in and come back up and around like that and do the treble. So it's a little bit of a pain because you have to keep flipping it back and forth, but it goes really quick. You'll see. So again, skip that one that the treble's in and do your 2. And then flip it back. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to yarn over twice and we're going to go in to the top of this stitch here of the previous treble, and we're just going to go around it like that. And we're going to finish the treble. And see how it gives it that like arrow? I think it's cool. So then that's what we're going to do. We're just going to repeat those 2 rows until we get to the length that we want it to be. Now, like I said, generally for a small beanie, about 6. For this one, because we don't do a whole lot of closing up on top, so for this one I would say no shorter than 7 inches. If you want it to have a little space on top, do 8. If you want it to be a little slouchy, between 9, 10, 11. Cause you could go all the way up to 11 with this one if you want it to be really slouchy. Because like I said, we're not going to do too much closing up. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to repeat these 2 rows until you get to the height you want it to be before we close it off. And it's only like 3 rows of closing. That's going to be quick too. So just remember, you're going to do this row backwards, and then when you come around and you finish up this row, you're going to come around this way, and you're going to be here. You're going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet again. Always the double, because this one's crossed over. That even though it was the last stitch we did, it's crossed over and on the other side. So you always want to slip stitch into the first double crochet. And then you'll flip it back again. And you're just going to repeat. And now when you come back to this part, you know what? I'm going to go around one more time and I'm going to show you, because I want to show you how to keep connecting it. So go ahead and finish this row and I'll meet you back. Okay, now that I finished that row, because I forgot, I want to show you, because it's a little bit different from just front posting around other double crochets. So remember, we're going to slip stitch into this double crochet here. And then we're going to chain our 3, and we're going to turn back now. And we're going to repeat that again. We're going to skip over this, and we're going to put those 2 double crochets in. I hope I don't confuse you guys, because sometimes my mouth goes faster than my brain. But now, on this row, we're just going to front post treble around the previous treble. So this row obviously is a little bit easier. This one kind of goes real quick. So you just skip that first one, do your 2. Sometimes it's hard to crochet like this because I feel like I'm reaching. And then you're going to do your treble around the previous treble instead of worrying about the top part of it, because it's a little bit different going this way. But see how nice that lays? I just think that is so pretty. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to repeat this row and this row. Just remember, you're flipping it back and forth. And on the opposite row from this one, you're working this way, and then you flip it and you work through the top part of the stitch here. And you're coming out around it. That's the only difference. Other than that, you're doing the same exact thing. You're doing the 2 and coming back, or you're doing the 2 and you're flipping it so that you can come through this part here. Because it would be dang near impossible to do it this way. It really would. So just remember about the flip-flops. If you need to go back and watch it again, please do. And so, like I said, now get it to the height you want it to be. And then we'll meet up, and it doesn't matter. I mean, you're probably better off finishing on this row here where you worked backwards. End on that row, because I think you're better off doing that and having it end going this way. But honestly, it doesn't even matter. Wherever you end is fine. And then we'll meet back and we'll close it up together. Okay, now that you guys have it whatever length you want it to be, we're going to start the decrease. And like I said, there's only 3 rows of the decrease, so this part's going to go by real quick too. We're going to still chain 3 because we're going to work with double crochets. And we're going to double crochet right back into that one we slip stitched in. We're going to do 1 double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 together over the next 2. So we're going to yarn over and go in there, pull through 2, yarn over and leave the 2 on there, yarn over and go into the next one, pull up a loop, go through 2 and go through all 3. That's your 2 together. And then we're going to do 1 by itself, and then 2 together. So we're going to go in, pull through 2, yarn over, go in the next one, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. So that's what our repeat is. We're going to do 1 by itself, and then we're going to do 2 together. Okay, so repeat that around, and I'll meet you right back, and we'll go on to the next one. Okay, mine's going to look different than yours because I keep pulling some stuff out so that I have room to work. So now that you did that, and you did 1 and 2, whatever even if you, because the stitch count at this point when you're closing it up doesn't matter. So if you come back around and whatever number you had, if there's leftovers, if there's 1 left over, just put 1. If there's 2 left over, just decrease it 1 more time. I mean, it doesn't matter. When you're decreasing, the stitch count doesn't matter at all. So now for the next 2 rows, because the next 2 are exactly the same. So for this row and the row after, we're just going to put 2 together. We're going to do every 2 stitches is going to go together. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So you're going to do that for this row and the next row. Now I always tell everybody, I pull mine in pretty tight because I like closing a small hole. I don't like gathering it all in where there's a big amount that you're pulling together. But it's your preference. So if you do this one row and it seems like, I don't know, that hole's small enough for me, then go ahead and cinch it tight. I mean, that is totally up to you. But if you're like me and you want to do one more row, do this one and one more, and then it'll be perfect. And we'll cinch it up together, okay? So I'll meet you back. Okay, this is such a small thing that I'm just going to cinch this up. I'm going to show you how I do it. But this is where I wanted to show you, again, how I pull it in. So at the top here, because we're done, not in the same one we slip stitched in, but the very next one, we're going to come up through the back and we're going to grab that loop and we are going to pull it to the inside and then chain your 1. Leave yourself, you know, enough string or enough yarn. Good Lord. You know, leave enough yarn so that you can cinch it up. Now, I always do it inside out. It's totally by preference with stuff like this. So, you know, like if you're going to put a pom-pom on it and you just want to cinch it up from the other side, I mean, go right ahead. It is so personal preference with some of this stuff because I just like the way it looks better from the inside when you do it from the inside. Either way. Because if you put a pom-pom on it, I mean, you can't see it no matter how you cinch it up. But that's just my mind telling me I need to do it this way. So, whatever way. If you're going to put a pom-pom on it and you want to do it the other way, go right ahead. If you're not going to put a pom-pom on it, it looks cleaner if you do it from the inside of the hat. So, I go in and I go around, I basically just go around that stitch. And I go, so don't go in to the one you just came out of. Jump to the next one and go in and out of the next 2. And then do the same. Don't worry about that one. Go jump to the next and go in and out. And you're just going to do that all the way around. If I could see what I was doing, it would be amazing. And then just do it all the way back till you get to the beginning and then cinch it tight. Cinch it nice and tight. And then I just go back and forth a couple times across where I cinched it. I go one way and then I go in the opposite. And then I do it a couple times and then I go back the way I did it the first time. And I always leave a little loop here from me pulling it. And I put my needle through so it makes a little knot. And you could do that once or twice. It's totally up to you. And then just sew in your ends. And I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me sew in my ends. So, because I'm sure you guys know how to do that. And then there, you know, you got your cute little hat. However yours turned out. I mean, that's the other thing. I have a Facebook group called Curiosity Crochet, just like my YouTube channel. And I would love it if you guys would pop over there and join, because I would love to see some of the hats you guys are making. If anyone's making them along with me, I would love to see them. So give that a try. Go over to Facebook and get in with the Curiosity Crochet group, because that's another way for you to know when I have videos posted and stuff too, because as soon as I make them, I post a picture of the hat with a link to the video right there on the Facebook page. So the more of you that join, the easier that it'll be for everybody. I have a lot of, I use a lot of Premier yarns. I noticed that I never mentioned this, but they're probably my favorite out of anything. Like, I like Premier yarns. I like Landscapes by Lion Brand too, but all of Premier's yarns are really, they're real. I love them. And they've got, you know, good prices on a lot of them too, and they're always having sales. So I'm gonna link Premier's website in my description box too, so that you guys can go check out their stuff and sign up for their newsletter or whatnot, because they send out emails when they're having sales, so that's good too. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I make the next video.